North Star metric. What is it? How can it help your startup? Is it jargon that us growth professionals came up with just to feel more validated and special? These are the questions I'm going to answer for you today. The name helps explain what a North Star metric is. It's really something that we can look at to guide our action and to understand where we are going with our business. A good North Star metric can usually be used as a leading indicator for revenue growth. If you're curious to know what exactly a leading indicator is, I'll send you to a podcast recorded with João Mimoso, product analytics manager at TripAdvisor. He goes way more into detail about what a leading indicator is, lagging indicator is. I suggest you check the description and look at it because it is really interesting talk that we had with him. But what you need to know for now is basically just, is this a way for us to know whether we increase revenue or we're going to increase revenue? Another requirement for a good North Star metric is usually that it should indicate value for the customer as well. So we shouldn't just focus on revenue, but we should identify something in the funnel. Could be the haha moment, or it could be really anything else. We're going to discuss later the other components, but it should be something that really shows not only how many people signed up for your product, but how much value they're taking from your product and how many people are taking value from your product. And to finish it off, it should be something that cuts across the whole funnel, cuts through the funnel. It's not just focused on acquisition. It's not just focused on retention. It has usually both components, sometimes more. Sometimes it also focuses on referrals, awareness. It really depends also on your revenue flywheel, your growth strategy, and the type of product that you're selling. So the example that everyone does is Airbnb. Not sure why this is the standard, but I think it works pretty well. So Airbnb wouldn't select number of users as their North Star metric because it wouldn't tell them much about their future revenue, right? It could be irrelevant users, wouldn't tell them a lot about the usability of their platform or the level of the accommodations they have. So how many nights in total have been booked on our platform? And based on that, we can assess if the overall direction of our company is good or not. Then we can break this metric down further and identify, okay, how many people are paying, what is the average nights that they're spending per accommodation. And based on that, we can identify bottlenecks in our funnel, we can identify opportunities. That is something that you should definitely do. But the goal of the North Star metric should be to have a lighthouse guiding your ship in the dark ocean you're navigating if you are a startup founder or an early startup employee. So use it for that. It's the number that you put at the beginning of your HoloLens deck. Is the number that you put on top of the TV screen in your office if you still have an office. And funnily enough, the first startup I worked with, Uniplaces, we had a very similar metric to Airbnb. It's obviously slightly different because we are more focused on medium to long-term accommodation, but it is really important to find something that you can look at and say, if this number is up by 20% next month, then I know we're doing well. Afterwards, you can dive a little bit deeper and see maybe there are areas that are going well and areas that are not. But it's important that by just looking at that and seeing how it has been evolving, you can assess the health of your business. And of course, these smaller components of the North Star metric can be used in multiple ways. You can assign them to a growth team or a product team and tell them, you're the owner of this now, improve this number, and they will be laser focused on that and work on it. That's a perfectly fine way of using this structure, this model, these concepts. You can use it again to identify issue in the funnel. So maybe there is one component that is doing particularly well. Let's say new users is going particularly well. And so it's bringing up all the numbers of your company. Your company is still doing well, but you want to make sure that you match the growth of users also in the other areas, that you have a higher number of accommodations so that new users that will come in the future actually have a big enough range of accommodations to pick from so that they book more nights. We go back to the main North Star metric. And if you're here because you heard about North Star in some meeting or some podcast or whatever, let's face it, you also probably heard it in the context of growth, experimentation. So I just want to acknowledge that this is kind of the context where this concept became popular. So fast-paced experimentation, teams that on a weekly basis run multiple experiments when possible. Don't exaggerate with that. Funny enough, we dive deeper into these topics in another podcast episode that you can check out with Jean Bonfang. He was working at Growth Tribe, educating tons and tons of people on these topics as they were really getting popular and getting known. So he did a tremendous job there. And I think he also did a great job in this podcast episode that, again, you can find in the description below. And it is particularly helpful to have this main guideline in the context of high tempo experimentation, because it really allows your growth team to prioritize the experiments that they're going to run and to have a clear-cut way of understanding whether an experiment was successful or not. So there can be a lot of debates and politics about, whether something should continue to run or not, especially when maybe it has a positive impact on acquisition, negative impact on retention. And having this clear North Star metric figured out, really understood something that is the main indicator of future value for your business and value for your customer, helps you make these decisions, helps you assess whether an experiment was really successful or not. So you stop looking at different parts of the business separately, you look at it all together, and that really helps you make faster, better decisions. So I hope this video was helpful, straight to the point, explanatory for the ones of you that didn't know what a North Star metric is. If you have any other video suggestion, if there is any topic you'd like me to address in these videos, please let me know in the comments. I'll be very happy to pick up the suggestion and try and help you figure out concepts that you might not understand, that might be new to you, other words and phrases that might feel just like jargon to you. That is exactly why I'm here, what I want to do, and what I want to address with this channel. As a final reminder, go to Rapido.fyi. You're going to find a lot of very helpful startup resources there. And if you sign up with your startup and you get accepted, if we like you, you're going to get access to a lot of amazing deals for your company, a lot of discounts, a lot of free months on amazing tools for your startup. You're really going to thank me for it. Go to it now. For the time being, the access is completely free, open to everyone. I hope to keep it this way as long as possible, but of course we need to make it sustainable. We are paying for the platform that offers you this chance. So go grab the opportunity now, and I hope I also see you in the next video. Bye bye.